Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy New Testament Tuesday. I'm Pastor Adam, and I'm so glad you decided to tune in, check out, and see what we've got going on. As you know, we just had Easter, and so it reminded me of this thing that Jesus said over in John chapter 12. What would you do when Jesus left you? You're so used to having Jesus around you, and then poof, he disappeared. Well, check this out in John chapter 12, verse 8. Let me give you some context here because a woman has just dumped a bunch of perfume onto Jesus' feet. Disciples, especially Judas, is upset about this woman dumping the super expensive perfume. And they say, well, we could have given that money to the poor. And so the whole crowd, the disciples are upset. And Jesus says this to them. Verse 7 and 8. Leave her alone, Jesus replied. It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. So Jesus is foreshadowing his death. He's again readying everybody for when Jesus leaves. He's going to be gone. And so this is a foreshadowing of that. We get to verse 8 and he says, "You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me." Jesus reminds everybody that, and he echoes this from, I believe, Deuteronomy. He says, you're always going to have the poor among you. There's always going to be people who are poor. That's just a reality of our fallen world, our sin filled, fallen world. There's always going to have poor people among you, but you will not always have me. He is reminding people about one day he's going to die and he's going to ascend and he's going to do things that only God the Son can do. And so the question remains, what are you guys going to do when I'm gone? Well, we know that the disciples then put a very big emphasis on taking care of the poor, taking care of widows, taking care of people who can't take care of themselves. That is what the early church was built on. It was such a problem that the disciples had to appoint a few guys to specifically handle that area because that's what the church was supposed to do, is supposed to do. And so today, we don't have Jesus right here, physically right here. We can't see a high five Jesus. We can't shake his hand, different things like that. What do we do now that Jesus is gone? We do what Jesus did. And what did Jesus do? He took care of the poor. He taught God's word. He healed the sick, made the blind to see. And so, what do we do now that Jesus is gone? It's after Easter. What do? We just had this big Sunday, different things that we do what the church is supposed to do, and that is follow the example of Christ. I'm Pastor Adam. This has been New Testament Tuesday. I'll see you next time.